Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate you having the hearing. Secretary Chu, thank you for coming with us and for staying through the vote series. I appreciate that. I want to get into the, I guess the different definition of an all-of-the-above energy strategy, because I think while we've been talking about and actually passing legislation out of the House to implement an all-of-the-above energy strategy so that we can not only create millions of American jobs, but also lower prices of gas at the pump and eliminate our dependence on Middle Eastern oil. The President has recently started talking about an all-of-the-above energy strategy, but if you look at the actual things that he's done, his policies have actually hurt energy production in this country. The President's out there boasting that, energy production, oil production's never been higher, as if he supports that, yet when you actually look at the facts, from what we've seen, numbers we've seen show that actual production on federal lands, which the President has control over through his Department of Interior, is down 11%. And in fact, in the Gulf of Mexico, it's down 17%. We've seen just from 2010 to 2011 an 11% reduction in oil production on federal lands. In the Gulf of Mexico exclusively, we've seen a 17% reduction in oil production. Where the increases come is on private lands. North Dakota and the shale plays, which, by the way, the President's trying to shut down through the EPA. So it's a little bit disingenuous for the President to go out there and say he's for all of the above and oil production's never been higher, when on federal lands where he's got an influence, he's actually used his influence to reduce production, and on private lands where he doesn't directly have an influence, he's trying through the EPA to shut down the fracking process, which would mean there would be a reduction there too, making us more dependent. And so, I'll go back to the comments that you've made in the past and the President have made in support of higher gas prices. And back in 2008, right after the President was elected, you said, and let me make sure, quote, somehow we have to figure out how to boost the price of gasoline to the levels in Europe. Did you say that?
I'm not sure. As I said before,
you said it or you didn't, and it's been a tribute. I mean, it's not the first time you've heard this, because many people have asked you about it, and I've heard you confirm that you said it.
I said something very similar. I'm not sure what.
Okay,
when the date
so if you look at President Obama's actual quote, President Obama said he would prefer a gradual adjustment to near $4 a gallon gasoline.
The only way we're going to deal with these high gas prices is if we change how we consume oil. And that means investing in alternative fuels. It means that we are raising fuel efficiency standards on cars. And when we look at other ways that we're using energy, we have to adapt renewable clean energies like solar, wind, and biodiesel.
As difficult as this is for consumers right now, is in fact high gas prices what we need to let the market work, align incentives so that we do shift to alternative means of energy? Is in fact high gas prices what we need to let the market work, align incentives so that we do shift to alternative means of energy?
Well, I think that we have been slow to move in a better direction when it comes to energy usage. We've been consuming energy as if it's infinite. We now know that our demand is badly outstripping supply, with China and India growing as rapidly as they are.
So could these high prices help us?
I think that I would have preferred a gradual adjustment. The fact that this is such a shock to American pocketbooks is not a good thing.
So could these high prices help us?
I think that I would have preferred a gradual adjustment.
President Obama said that. And unfortunately, the President's put policies in place that have gotten us now to $4 a gallon almost in gasoline prices. We've seen it. It's $1.83 when he started as President. It's over $3.70 now. So the President's got his wish. And people are furious about it. It's killing the economy. It's killing jobs. And now that people are furious, the President's trying to blame somebody else. But let's look at the record. And if you look at what's happening in Gulf of Mexico alone, we've lost about a dozen deepwater rigs, billion-dollar-plus assets that have left the Gulf of Mexico because they can't get permits because of the President's own policies. Now, they haven't left to go to other places in America. They've left the country. They've gone to places like Egypt. Imagine it's better to do business in Egypt than in America because of the President's policies. We saw what the President did on the Keystone XL pipeline, saying no to that. the president has implemented a policy that's actually reduced American energy production and supply. Now, of course, the president's been to Saudi Arabia. He's bowed down to their prince and said, he's begged them for more oil. He's bowed down to their prince and said, he's begged them for more oil. I understand you've been to Saudi Arabia as well and had similar meetings. Rather than going to Saudi Arabia, I've mapped out. It's only about a 5-minute walk from your office to the White House. I would suggest instead of going to Saudi Arabia and asking them to increase production, go to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue and ask the president to reverse his policies that have reduced production in America and made gas prices higher, both with the permitorium in the Gulf, where there's still no consistent policy to get permits, and it's killing production. We've lost a dozen rigs. They've left America. We've lost thousands of jobs because of that. Keystone Pipeline. We lost 1 million barrels from Canada that we now have to get from Middle Eastern countries who don't like us. This EPA attack on fracking, which is killing innovation. We've talked to a company recently, an American energy company, who left $3 billion on the table. So I would just ask that you go and pursue the administration policies that are killing energy production and causing higher gas prices instead of going to Saudi Arabia.
Gentleman's time has expired.
It's only about a 5-minute walk from your office to the White House. I would suggest instead of going to Saudi Arabia and asking them to increase production, go to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue and ask the president.